He is a 6-time Connecticut Sportscaster of the Year, my friend from WTIC News Talk today, Scott Gray. I enjoyed working with you back here. I still get compliments and comments every day saying, we missed you and Scott on Saturday morning.
We had a ball on Saturday morning.
Good time.
I still think you and I should do a sports talk show somewhere.
We can do it right now. Next 6 seconds. We got 6 minutes to make it happen.
We'll do that.
UConn basketball, right? So, men, right? National champions. Mm-hmm. They top that off now by getting the top guy in the country, Andre Drummond, right? Which now, and they bring a returning core of young guys back. What are the prospects of going back-to-back for the UConn men?
Well, the number one thing you have to realize is at the end of last season, the best player in the country was Kemba Walker. For the last 10 games, 11 games of the year, nobody played better than Kemba Walker. So effectively, they lost the best player in the country. They're returning Jeremy Lamb, who had a great summer in international play, preseason first-team All-American. He is going to do very big things, I'm sure, for UConn. The problem with Jeremy is, come March, everybody's going to be talking about, does he stay, does he go to the NBA? He's that kind of player. He's an NBA-caliber player. If there is an NBA at that point. The top recruit in the country, Andre Drummond.
Let's talk about him, Andre Drummond. Yeah. Mike, see if you can cue up Andre Drummond. If you have any, this guy, okay, we don't have anybody, but he's 6'11", but 277 pounds. This is an enormous coup for Calhoun, right?
He's been kind of sheltered from the media so far, but I do know a lot of people who have worked with Drummond, AAU coaches, prep school coaches, and players that have played with him. And what I do know of him, having chatted with him a couple of times, this is a really great kid. I mean, he's a very intelligent kid. He's a great kid. A lot to like about him. He has all of the physical tools. But the thing is, and talking to the coaches, he really has to learn the game of basketball at this level. And at this level, he's going to run into some guys who are 6'11", have some of the physical tools that he has, who also understand the game better at this level. So this first year is going to be a little bit of a learning experience for him. He's going to be very good, but don't put too much pressure on him to be the man with this team.
Well, you have a Hall of Fame coach in Jim Calhoun right now. For him, the coaching challenge here is, how do you coach these guys who were freshmen last year, returning, who won a national championship, who maybe think they know more than the coach knows now? How do you keep their egos in check and keep them focused? They have to do it again because they're young guys, and they had a lot of success last year.
This, I think, is where Jeremy Lamb becomes so much more important than just Jeremy Lamb, the basketball player. Everybody on this team now realizes there's one guy that they can look up to, a guy they can look to as the leader on and off the court, and I think his presence there is going to keep a lot of these guys in check.
Yeah, Roscoe Brown.
Roscoe Brown right now is being challenged for that starting small forward position by DeAndre Daniels. Who's a freshman. He's come in. He looks very, very good. Early in the Alex Oriaki coming back this year. He is going to be an all Big East player, no question in my mind. He's come on strong since his freshman year. Now he's a junior. He's another one of the players that the players on the team can look up to. But primarily Jeremy Lamb and Alex Oriaki kind of gives all the other players guys to look up to, leaders that kind of levels their own heads a little bit.
But the brains of the operation has to be Shabazz Napier.
Shabazz Napier.
Right? I mean, he's the guy who's the point guard now.
Jim Calhoun has an awful lot of hope for this kid. He showed a lot of promise last year. He's going to be the point guard. Calhoun is riding him hard in the early practices.
Where it starts, right? All that talent. You have a good point guard. You have a great point guard.
You have that talent. You're going to be counted on, and there he is, Shabazz Napier. I always thought he was one of the real unsung keys to this team last year. Of course, when you have a guy like Kemba Walker leading the way and Jeremy Lamb coming on the way he did, a guy like Napier is going to get lost a little bit. And he really was a big key to this team last year. He's going to be an even bigger key this year because he's going to be the floor general more often than not.
Calhoun will be suspended for, I think, 3 games this year.
The first 3 Big East games.
Right. So now when that happens, the distraction of test scores and grades will come up again. Your thoughts on that? The NCAA now is making strides to increase standards and then maybe even have a penalty where if you don't meet these grades, you don't play in postseason play. That will come to the forefront again when those 3 games come up.
Well, now we know that there will not be a postseason ineligibility penalty this season, but they could find that penalty coming into play next season. The thing I don't like about this is if it's going to happen, announce it. Let people know. Don't leave them out there recruiting under this cloud of players wanting to know, am I going to be able to play in the NCAA tournament next year or am I not? So I'd like to see the NCAA move on this one way or the other.
One team doesn't have that problem, UConn women. They don't have this issue of grades. A lot of their kids, they're three-point, they're honor students, but they're also looking to regroup. Maya Moore no longer there, so what can we look for in this year's edition of the UConn women?
Well, you know, you do have a lot of talented players coming back. Bria Hartley and Stephanie Dolson, the two freshmen from last year, just the way you saw them come on as freshmen. By the time they finished their freshman season, they were almost halfway through. I mean, in terms of basketball, halfway through their sophomore year. They come back as seasoned veterans. This is going to be a very interesting team because I think
Tiffany Hayes comes back?
Tiffany Hayes comes back, and she looks better than ever.
How so?
She just seems to be able to flow with her game more. She seems to be a lot more confident in her game this year. And I think the coaches are really building her up a lot and working on that confidence factor with her. She's going to be a very big factor for the team. But I think the biggest factor for the team is going to be Maya Moore. And look at me. I was waiting for the look.
Well, you got it.
Okay? Because for the first time in 4 years, you don't have a preseason All-American on this team.
That's a good point.
And now this is going to be a team. Last year, the year before, they were clearly Maya's team.
Right.
When things were going bad, you knew where to look. You looked to Maya. With the exception, for instance, of that Stanford game or the Baylor game at the XL Center, when they went to Bria Hartley, and she showed at that point, I want the ball.
Give me the ball. Brand now. She'd be close. UConn's become a big brand now. Her team, I think, won the championship in the WNBA. I believe her team, she was a part of that. Did I have that right?
Right.
And
Maya,
now she's becoming a big brand, hooked up with the Nike. In about 15 seconds, ones to watch, Kalina Mosqueda Lewis. This is the hot shot they brought.
She will
real
be.
Quick on her. I'm
pretty sure she's going to be in the starting lineup. This will be Gino's top recruit for this year, Kalina Mosqueda Lewis, and I'm pretty sure she's going to be in the starting lineup. It's really early. They've played one exhibition game, so it's too early to say she's earned a spot, but I think she will.
All right, you've earned your spot to come back again, as always. Thanks to our guests, Chris Keating, Christine Stewart, Scott Gregg, Corey Brinson. Don't forget to catch our show 24/7 at ctnow.com/stand. Friend us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. For the good folks here at Fox Connecticut, I'm Stan Simpson. Tim Lammers and the Morning News is next.